Welcome back to Gooner Fanzine TV after a dramatic, dreadful defensive display against Everton. A game of fraught moments, high intensity, lots of tension and very, very difficult to watch in parts, but very fun in most parts. But I'm with Dan, we're going to go through the player ratings and let's start with Leno. I think it's the safest one we can start with.
Well, it was a bit of an up and down performance from him. I thought he could have done a bit more for that second goal. Maybe could have been a bit stronger coming out to claim the ball. But, it was quite close to him, difficult to, maybe stop the shot from that range. Although in the second half, he was really, really good. He made some important saves. Like one from Calvert-Lewin, I don't know how he kept it out. I mean, he had split seconds to react, didn't he? It was inches away from him, and he just about got his arm out to push it away. Made some important saves, as I said. So 7.5 him. I thought he did really well in the second half. Maybe could have done more for the goal, as I say. But yeah, decent enough.
Well, the next set of players are the. Let's start with the centre backs because I think that's where we've got a lot of problems. Because those defensive mistakes today were unforgivably dreadful.
Yeah. David Luiz, I gave a 5. I thought for the opening goal inside 60 seconds, could have done so much more with that header. But he just headed it straight to Calvert-Lewin, didn't he? People around him weren't reacting, to be fair, but he could have headed it to such a safer position. You don't want to head it back towards your own goal, basically. Although his assist for Aubameyang's goal was really good. He just kind of stepped out defence, played it through the channel. It was a really good pass. That was David Luiz at his best, but we also saw him at his worst with some of the errors. Gave the ball away a few times in sloppy areas. So 5 for him.
Speaking of at his worst, Mustafi's new haircut.
Oh, that haircut is awful, isn't it? He gets a 0 for that haircut. That was dreadful.
I was sitting there, I got there about an hour early. I was sitting in the seat, and I just see him. I was like, who is that peroxide blonde man?
He's not the real Slim Shady, is he?
No, and he's not very good at defending today. I mean, he was your star player, but I think today he made a great start to the second half, but the first half he looked very slow and lumbering to get to start.
Yeah, he looked sluggish at times, but I think in the second half especially, he defended really well. There was times where he cut out important crosses, made some really good blocks, put some important tackles in. I think he does look like a different player. Obviously, the mistakes are still there. If he can cut that out of his game, and do that on a more consistent basis, I think he will, keep his place, hopefully. But yeah, it was okay, 6.5 for him. I thought, as I say, some of the tackles and blocks and interceptions are really important in that second half. But yeah, the mistakes have got to go, basically.
I think, that's the team talk Arteta gave at half-time must have really kicked him into gear because it was two different halves when you looked at him play. So but the fullbacks, I thought, seemed a little bit sort of transparent today. Didn't really see much from Bellerin and or Saka or Kolasinac.
Yeah, before even going to Bellerin's rating, I want to address this. So people on social media have been saying, he should be dropped, sell him in the summer, whatever. Madness. He's just come back from an ACL injury, and there's a lot about the muscle strength and just general strength if you lose from having an injury like that. He needs time and patience. He needs more minutes, more game time to get back up to the level he was at before, to get that strength back, to get his match legs back. So I think to call for him to be sold, it's just ridiculous. I think people are calling for him to be sold. Get your head in gear, basically. It's not on.
If you're saying that, you're wrong.
Yeah, you're wrong.
You're wrong.
And if you have been saying that, you put it in the comments. You'll be up for grabs, and you will be getting absolutely destroyed. I thought he struggled a bit defensively against Richarlison, who's obviously a really dangerous player, very quick, very direct. So struggled defensively. I thought he did okay going forward. So 6, middle of the road, basically.
I think it was a very middle of the road performance. But on the other side, obviously, Kolasinac went off injured at the 18th minute. So I mean, you can't give him much of a rating.
I gave him a 5. I didn't think he did a lot in the minutes he did play, but obviously, doesn't look good for him. Obviously, went off with his arm kind of in a sling, didn't he? Arteta did say that he doesn't know what it is yet. They're going to assess it tomorrow, but he's hoping it's not a dislocation. Obviously, we've already lost Tierney to a dislocated shoulder, so hopefully Kolasinac isn't the same.
But obviously Saka came on to replace him. I think obviously Saka showed a bit of his sort of tiredness from the previous games he's played. He didn't look like he was fully match fit.
I mean, he put on the bench so he could have a bit of a rest, and then came on after 18 minutes. So I do feel sorry for him in that regard. Set up Nketiah's goal, really good cross. Good stat for you. He's the first Arsenal teenager since Cesc Fabregas in 06-07 to record double figures for assists in a season. So fair play to him. He's up to 10 assists now. I think he gave the ball away at times, a bit sloppy. I mean, there was that one in the second half where I don't know what he was trying to do. He kind of just almost played Richarlison on goal, didn't he, with just a wayward pass. I think he needs a rest. I don't think he's not going to get one now, is he? So he's just going to have to keep soldiering on through, but he's shown a lot of promise. There's still plenty of room to improve, but fair play to him. Keeps putting in a shift, doing really well, keeps improving. So 6.5, not his best performance, but as I say, into double figures for assist. So just hopefully he keeps growing and improving.
Well, an area of the pitch that has been growing and improving is the midfield, and I
Yeah.
think today the sort of midfield showed a lot of improvement. They showed quite a lot of
Yeah.
positivity, a lot of good attacking intent. Let's start with Ozil, sort of, the man of the hour. Everyone talks about him. What did you give him?
7.5. I thought it was quite effective. Obviously, the end product still isn't quite there. I know he scored last week, but still, not got that assist that he needs. But I thought some of his touches, his clever passes, little flicks to get Arsenal moving forward, just his use of the ball as well was really effective. Better from him, obviously showing a lot more energy as well, as we said in previous weeks. So 7.5, I thought, it was fairly decent and kept Arsenal ticking over nicely.
It's going to be quite frustrating on the podcast on Monday. Glenn is going to be absolutely taking the mick out of us for our previous podcast.
It's not going to be good, is it?
No. So a player that I think started off exceptionally poorly, but really grew into the game and was absolutely
Does he drink
excellent.
Australia and eat paella by any chance?
I mean, that first 20 minutes, he looked totally out of place.
Yeah.
But then he managed to sort of pull himself together and really turned it around.
Yeah, I mean, well, we were discussing Ceballos off camera, weren't we? Just about, how do you really assess his performance? I think first 20 minutes, he was woeful. He kept giving the ball away. But after that, when Arsenal got into the game, he started to really take control, using the ball effectively, getting Arsenal moving forward. It was quite interesting that he was playing a bit deeper than Xhaka as well. He was the one dropping in to get the ball and move it forward. I think that's probably one of the things he's really good at. He's got that composure in that area. He's happy to have the ball at his feet when he's under pressure. He can turn out of situations, play the right pass. As I say, really grew into the game and really helped Arsenal dominate in that spell towards the end of the half and early in the second half. I'm really a massive fan of his. I think, he's had an unlucky time with injuries, fell out of favour a bit, but he's back now. He's had 2 really good performances in the Premier League. We also said off camera, didn't we, what's going to happen with him. I do kind of hope that Arsenal do look to try and keep him. I think he's a really, really good player. He's obviously only 23, still got a lot of years to grow and develop. A case of how much he costs. I did write a piece on him last week discussing what's going to happen with him. We'll just have to wait and see, I guess. But yeah, another good performance, a game an 8.
That's quite a good rating. A player that's obviously been a bit sort of chalk and cheese has been Xhaka. I thought he actually had quite a decent game today.
I thought he was okay. I mean, I think in his role, it's kind of difficult for him to, I don't know, I know we've been back and forth on this, Serge, and I know what you're going to say, but I do think it is kind of difficult for him to have a real standout in that role. His job is to basically get the ball back and keep things moving, play it simple, and he does that well. Did give the ball away a few times, a little bit sloppy in his play, but I think everyone was today. So yeah, 6.5, okay performance.
I thought it's fair enough. And then obviously on the other side, we had Pepe, who after obviously finally scoring a goal last game, he was looking a little bit more positive. I thought he kind of showed a little bit more intensity today, which I quite liked. But
well, that's a goal
final.
and 3 assists now in the past 2 games. So I think the main criticism of him early in his Arsenal career was basically we need to see more end product on a more consistent basis. He's had those games where he's shown flashes of it and had a real influence, but I think he is starting to get into the rhythm and get more minutes and understand the Premier League. Obviously, coming from France, the intensity level goes up, the difficulty of the opponent goes up. No disrespect to the French league, but it's clear to see, the Premier League is such a competitive league, best in the world, a lot of people say, and I personally agree. But yeah, Pepe's showing it more consistently now, which is good. Obviously, he's got the end product, really good ball in for the winning goal. Yes. So, he's getting there. I think it was slowly but steadily getting there, and as I've said before, next season is going to be the season to judge him on, really.
I definitely think his confidence has definitely really shone through now. I think he looks like he's going to keep on pushing forward. Yeah,
I gave him a 7, by the way. For God's sake.
But let's move to the forward line. Obviously, I think we had 2 goal scorers there. We had Nketiah and Aubameyang. I thought Aubameyang had a fantastic performance, but what did you rate him?
He's my man of the match, 8.5. Obviously, 2 important goals. I think we're going to see him on that left-hand side all the time now, basically. Obviously, Nketiah will come on to has come in and provided more competition in that central role. There's obviously Lacazette, Martinelli as well who can play there. So I think Aubameyang will stay in that wide position. But if you keep scoring important goals like that, can't take him out of the team, can you? And obviously as a captain as well, I think he showed a lot of good leadership qualities. He really tracked back and worked hard as he's done under Arteta fairly frequently, to be honest. Obviously as a goal scorer, doing his job as well. So all round really good from him, 8.5.
Absolutely brilliant. I thought he was definitely fantastic today. But a player that you're slightly unsure of, Nketiah.
Yeah, I gave him a 7. I thought his goal showed exactly what he's good at. His movement is brilliant. To get in between the 2 centre halves and just dart into that space. He knows where the ball's going, he knows where he wants it, and then obviously to get the finishing touch. It was a real striker's goal, wasn't it? And I think that is the thing with him. He's a proper out-and-out goal scorer. Yeah. But the way he links play, I don't think is as good as Lacazette. I don't think he offers as much as Lacazette does in terms of that linking play and holding the ball up and bringing other people into the game. But you know, he's only 20, he's still got a lot of room to develop and grow. Arteta's shown faith in him, which is really good. He's given the youngsters minutes. And as he said before, you know, if you train well and you play well, you'll get the game time you deserve. And he's stuck to his word. He's been given people like Nketiah, Saka, Willock as well in the cup competitions, giving them game time. So fair play to him for that. But yeah, just need to see a little bit more from him in terms of his overall play. As I say, yeah, good goal. Shows what he's really good at, so 7.
Okay, fair enough. Let's move on to the subs. I think the subs are quite important. Obviously, we've already discussed Saka.
Yeah.
But Torreira, I thought, looked quite sharp today in parts.
I think, as with everyone, he gave the ball away a few times, a bit sloppy. Obviously, Everton put a lot of pressure on towards the end of that game, trying to go for the equaliser. But, you know, he came on, shored things up a little bit, added a bit of energy. You know, Arsenal were looking leggy at that point when he came on. So, did his job, 6.5.
Yeah, I think that's fair, because he wasn't on for a huge amount of time. Yeah. But some of the slide tackles he put in, I thought, were very, very impressive. For such a small man, he's incredibly...
Like a Rottweiler, isn't he?
He's a tenacious man. It's quite impressive. But another player who's, I suppose you could describe as tenacious, is Guendouzi. I thought, once again today, he was all over the shop. He looked really intense, but I can't really put my finger on anything he did.
I'm going to be the opposite. I thought he was actually quite good, playing in a very weird position.
Yeah.
So I was watching the screen when Arteta's like talking to him before he comes on. He was basically just going like this, just saying, just push on him. And I was watching him. He was basically playing as a centre forward, wasn't he? It was like just chasing the ball around the centre backs.
It's just so weird.
Yeah, it was a bizarre position, but I think
it worked.
It worked. Yeah. I mean, he won the ball back high at the pitch a few times, took the pressure off a little bit. So fair play to him. Decent enough, 6.5.
And what would you rate our manager Arteta? His nether win?
I'll give him a 7.
7.
I
What
thought
does it take to please you?
a lot, mate. I thought the team selection was fairly decent. I thought he really, you know, got into them to turn things around in that first half, and then after half time, obviously. I like the way he gets out on the touchline. He's constantly prowling around, shouting instructions, telling people where to go. Yeah. And I also like the fact he goes back. I don't know if you've noticed this, but when the ball goes out of play, he'll go to the bench and talk to his coaching staff, get their opinions, whatever. Yeah. So I like the fact he does that. You know, gets everyone involved. You know, he's really passionate, really good talker. A lot of things to like about him. 10 games unbeaten now as well. He's obviously had a real impact. I'm sure we'll talk about it more in the podcast. But yeah, I'm really, really pleased with him, and hopefully things continue. So 7 for him.
Well, you heard it here first. Dan's actually pleased.
Yes.
A rare sight indeed.
Yes.
Don't forget, we'll have another video coming up shortly with Lath and Dan going through all of the press conference goodies.